Well, this was a very tense episode. Like, jeez, this was tense. And the best part about it is that it really focused only in one room with three characters, and that is it. Sure, in the beginning we had some conversations with Ariel, Luke, and the two princesses, but they only had a few voice lines. The remaining of this episode was majority to do with Rudius, Sophie, and our new character, Silent Seven Stars. In the direction it went, the voice acting was definitely top notch. Like, geez, whether it was the panicking, the anger, the sadness, the confusion, the voice acting truly mattered because there was no action or comedy or anything like that in this episode. It all evolved around listening to the conversations that were going on and even speaking the different languages. It was very, very fascinating to watch and listen to as well. You just hear the emotions just pouring out of each character, and it was just amazing. Studying more about the teleportation incident that happened years ago, it felt more like a summoning ritual that went wrong, and everything else was just a backlash. And to understand more about summoning, they needed to find someone who could actually be a master at summoning, and that was when Fitz recommended him to Silent Seven Stars. And Silent Seven Stars, being someone that caused him a true PTSD. I mean, when this boy saw her, he freaked the fuck out. He ran for the hills. He just ran for the hills. He faded. Again, can you blame him? This dude went through a very traumatic experience where he died and came back to life by this dude. Stabbed him right through, saw him beat up all his friends, and killed him. Gut him like a fish. And just to bring him back alive, of course, he's gonna have the traumatic experience of seeing him. Like, yo, man, I don't want to deal with this dude. This dude can beat me. He's gonna league on his own. And the thing about it is that Rui is scared of him, where everyone else is scared of him because of the curse that he has. But Rui is scared of him because of that traumatic experience. So, looking for that traumatic experience, this wouldn't have been like Rudius, our boy. But here we are. It is nuts, man. And he wakes up in the lap of Best Boy Fitz. And then this is when this conversation got interesting. Silence, the masked girl, is nobody else than Nanahoshi. And Nanahoshi is the girl that Rudius saved at the very beginning of this series in his former world. Yes. And I really want to talk about Nanahoshi. Before I did, I want to say this. As this episode previews were coming out throughout the week, my god, people were hyping this girl up. They were hyping her so hard. Oh, this is going to be the best episode ever. This is going to be the best girl. Like, Nanahoshi is alright when it comes to interesting terms, but best girl, really? You guys are going overboard here, man. Like, y'all are overhyping Nanahoshi, like, up the ass. And then I was reading the comments and people were like, she's alright, but she ain't all that. Don't overhype stuff. Because when you do, people have these high expectations in this character, and she is interesting, but not best girl. Come on, you guys are just overdoing it. It's too much. Back it down a little, okay? Anyways, the conversation was so tense and everything, and her explaining everything that has happened, them exchanging information, she understanding that Rudius is from the same world she is by asking questions by two names. These two names are names of her two friends that she was with during that incident. And Rudius does not recall those names, but he can speak the language and they are from the same world. That's why he can understand the Japanese. And she wishes to return home. Now let's talk about the very importance between the character, what's really important about Nanahoshi's character when it comes to a reader's perspective. Nanahoshi, in my opinion, represents old school isekai. And Rudius represents new school isekai. And this is what I mean by this. Nanahoshi represents old school isekai. If you remember back in the past, a lot of isekais evolved with a girl, a high school girl, or a middle school girl, getting transported to another world. The Alice in Wonderland kind of thing. And she usually goes to that world to reflect upon herself and those around her, so she'll come back home as a better person. Venus of Escaflowne, Fufuji Yugi, 12 Kingdoms, Akudamashi's Shopping Arcade. These are all kind of isekais where the main character is a girl. They go to another world and they come back as a different kind of person, more wiser, understanding more about life itself. And they have a drive to go back home despite all the mean things that are around them. And also, they don't have powers. They have a certain ability of items and even have great powerful allies. So you remember most of the time in these guys, they'll be surrounding themselves around powerful allies so they know they'll be protected. So she resembles old school isekai when you think about it. I was talking to these people a long ago when I was talking about her character on a forum, and they kind of agreed. She does represent old school isekai. You know, as you see herself, she has no power, and she has that drive to go back home. Now, represents new school isekai because he is a loser. He is a loser and he dies. He, instead of just getting teleported to that new world, he is reincarnated to that new world. He wants to start his life all over again. He has no interest in going back. Even if he could, he doesn't want to. He is fine with the world he is in now. He has powers, he has girls, he's way better in his old life. Why would he want to go back? And that's the problem with a lot of isekais of now, is that most of the times there's no self-reflecting or learning experience with these isekai, so that's why a lot of people like to shit on new school isekai, because not just because there's an overabundance of them, but because they're all generic copies of them. They're boring, plain. Even their back characters are just so terrible. You have just them salary man just dies overwork, or he just blinks and he's in a new world. No good explanations. He starts off with a harem, he's overpowered, everything's easy to them. They all lost what it meant to be the new school isekai, because you can see with Mushoku Tensei, hell, even ReZero, even though he teleported, question is, will he ever go back to his world with Subaru? That's a story for another time. But yes, they really do compare and contrast as characters, both in story and out of story, of Nanahoshi and Rudius. So after understanding this, Nanahoshi reveals, as you tell she's putting on her rings, you tell she's putting on her rings, she knows what's about to happen. Those rings are meant to cancel spells and protect her from sudden attacks. So as you can see, she's putting on the rings and she knows, like, just in case, I've already been through this, man. Gotta make sure no one hurts me. I might have been the cause of the teleportation incident. And as expected, Selfie comes along and she is pissed. Like, it's because of you all this happened, man. She lost her mom, her dad. She wasn't able to see Rudius. A lot of stuff happened to her. She was put into a new kind of land she didn't understand. She had to pretend something that she's not. Fight for her life. It was just a terrible all-around experience for poor Selfie and stuff. So of course she's putting her frustration out, and then Rudius calming her down, saying, um, it's not her fault. She didn't want this to happen anyways. It's something that just was put on to her. She was summoned here by against her own will. So then, of course, Selfie calms down, and then she goes back to explaining things, and then want Rudius to help her. Like, I'll exchange more information to you, and you yourself will supply me with mana in my experiments to find a way back home. That is what she wants. And then the deal was made. As you can see, Selfie feels very out of place. And it's going to be a reoccurring thing of Selfie being jealous or uncomfortable around Nanahoshi. And this will be happening a lot throughout the volumes of Mushoku Tensei, of why she feels insecure or jealous of her. Like, Rudy's will be flirted on, or he'll be around other girls, but Nanahoshi will be one that she'll always be not accepting of. And here's why. This entire episode here shows why. First of all, Nahoshi's not of this world. Rudius is not of this world either, but he was born into this world. So therefore, he is part of the world now. Nanahoshi, however, isn't. She feels unnatural, like she doesn't fit in at all. Plus, she starts talking this language with Rudius. This entire time, Rudius has been relying on Selfie as Fitz. And she's been kind of proud of herself because of that. And her insecurity is enough as it is for Rudius to like her, or remember her at least. is one thing, but now you have this character where Rudius just seems to connect with immediately first on knowing her, and you see how they're speaking this entirely different language that's never been heard of on that world. Like, it's a language that not even the old gods will know of because it just doesn't exist in that world. So she's just sitting there watching these two speak a language she does not understand and being left out, and she sensed this tenseness in the air. She's feeling uncomfortable with it with Nanahoshi, and how the two or now she seems to know something about Rudius that not even Selphie knows. Selphie thought she knew everything about Rudius because they're childhood friends. They knew each other since they were kids. So to see someone who's saying stuff that can't be true in Selphie's eyes, but Rudius does not deny it, it worries her. Like, now she's saying that she comes from where Rudius comes from. They're speaking this entirely different language that's not heard of, but they can speak so fluently in. Like, it just came to them like second nature. It's making Selphie feel uncomfortable. Like, who is this person? She's too mysterious, too suspicious. If Rudius is hanging out with the two princesses all the time, she's hanging out with Anil Lays and stuff. She doesn't mind. But Nanahoshi is just something that she don't feel right about and stuff like that. I feel like this person knows something about Rudius that Rudius doesn't share with no one, and he doesn't until now. So because of that, she feels uncomfortable around Nanahoshi. You can see in her eyes, she's saying, "What do you think of her?" He says, she comes off as a very sketchy person, but I'll trust her for now. Well, the episode doesn't really end on a cheerful or a laughy kind of moment, but instead, first time ever, it feels kind of tense and worrisome and mellow kind of episode. So it's a very good episode that sticks out of place for what we've been used to so far in the show that we've been watching. We've seen a lot of funny moments, a lot of cool moments, a lot of heartfelt moments, but to see something like this, it just feels different. It hits different. So therefore, it's gonna have a more of a different kind of impact with the people that watch it, and I completely understand. So yeah, this definitely is a good episode. A lot of people were hyping this episode up a lot on the internet. I mean, like the crazy proportions. Like some people who are big Mushoku Tensei fans would just constantly won't stop. They will not shut up about Nanahoshi. Like, she's an interesting character, but she ain't all that, man. Y'all need to stop that. She's trying to put people's expectations up there. What's wrong with you? Well, anyways, that's all I got for this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and of course, hit that bell icon. This has been Madcrownxox, all anime. Signing out.